This project is a contemporary romance.
What I've really struggled with over my writing journey is finding out the balance between what is young adult, like what is for young adults, and when one of my characters young adults, but for an adult audience. I have officially written 15,000 words for this draft. I did not end up doing any more writing yesterday.
Anyway, I should get away from this river.
Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Meadow. I am an independent author and I am currently working on my next upcoming projects. This video is going to follow me over the course of a week as I try a new writing challenge. I am trying to write a 500,000 word novel in only 28 days. This is a big challenge for me for a couple of different reasons. For one, I'm setting a time constraint on myself. 28 days is a short amount of time. Usually when people do writing challenges, they do it in 30 or 31 days. I'm shortening it a little bit just because of how much time I have left in the summer before I want this project done. I'm also giving myself that word goal, which is a little scary for me, only because I am an underwriter. For sure. I struggle with getting to 50,000 words in a first draft, if at all. So this challenge is pushing me to get to that 50,000 word point no matter what. Another reason why this challenge is going to be interesting is because I'm currently writing a YA contemporary romance. This is not something that I've written much before. I am definitely much more of a fantasy writer and I have such an interest to write romance, and so that's why I'm kind of testing out the waters and seeing if this is something that I want to continue to do. I am super excited to do this. I'm so excited that this is my first video jumping right in, so you kind of see how I work, what my personality is like, that sort of thing, and hopefully encourage you to want to keep watching my videos. So I have made myself a word tracker. I have never done this before, but I thought that it would be helpful to do for this writing challenge specifically. So I have all the dates to the end of August where I plan on writing. These are days that I know that I don't have any work, I don't have any plans. I'm going to be doing quite a bit of traveling towards the end of July and into August. So that's why there's some chunks of time taken out. But this was 28 days from when I started last week to when I'm going to be ending this challenge on August 26th. This word goal is approximately how much that I need to write each day in order to reach that 50,000 word goal. And then each day I'm writing the words written, the total words I have, words until 50K, and then days left in the challenge. Progress update here. So I've written about 15,000 words this morning. My goal, if you had seen, is about 1,700 words a day. The reason that I'm able to go through so quickly for these first early chapters is because I'd already written 13 chapters about. So these first couple of days of this challenge have been fairly easy. I've been able to overreach my word counts because of the words already being written and the story already being there. Once we reach a certain point, I know it's going to be a lot more difficult and I'm going to probably struggle more with hitting the word count, but that's fine because I've overreached now 2 days in a row. I've gotten about 3,000 words for the first 2 days of this challenge. Might reach that today as well. Today I don't have as much as a full writing day because I do have work at 1. So I have to leave before noon. It is just about to be 9 a.m. I might try to write a little bit of the next chapter and then take a break for the day. just because I need to get some stuff done before work. But before I end this day, I wanted to give a little bit more information about me. I have self-published 2 books now in the past. The first one being King in the Clouds. It is a YA fantasy murder mystery story. And then the second one is the sequel to that, which is Queen in the Shadows. It is a YA fantasy romance. I self-published those 2 books. Now I am going down the traditional publishing path again, or at least an attempt to. As much as I love self-publishing and being an independent author, it is really, really difficult to do that financially, and I don't have the means to do that anymore. It's why I've kind of switched gears a little bit. If you've been following me on Instagram for a bit, you would know that I do have a 3rd book written in my fantasy series, but I am putting it on pause for right now because it is really, really hard. It would be super difficult to pitch a 3rd book in a series to agents, which I have tried. I have queried with it already, but I've been getting a lot of rejections, which is fair and kind of just how this process works. So I've been working so hard on getting Project Pirate to a good spot so that I can query with that one, because it is a standalone, it is a fantasy, it is something that I think is really eye-catching and intriguing. This is one that I think I can query with and be confident in my querying process for it. Project Pirate is something that you're going to be seeing a lot of because that is definitely my main project. For anyone who doesn't know, I do kind of write full-time, at least definitely over the summer, but it is not my paying job quite yet. It is not close to being my paying job, but hopefully one day. So I just wanted to give a little bit of progress here. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue writing today. I kind of reached my word count goal for the day. Like I said, I got about 1,500 words. So I'm about 200 away. However, I did go over my word count for the last 2 days. So I feel okay if I stop here, if it means that I get some Instagram content done, because I need to make sure it's done before I go to work today. It is now Wednesday. It is about 9:30 this morning. This is a little late for me to be sitting down and starting to work, but because I was at work late last night, I decided to give myself a little bit of a slower morning. I'm about to start chapter 6. So I'm starting the day with 7,676 words. Sorry, 78 words. If I hit my word count for the day, I should be surpassing 9,000 words today. And that means I'll be almost at the 10K mark. A little bit later today, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what this project is, because I don't think I've gone super in depth yet. So I think I am ready to get started. I have reached the 10,000 word mark, which is fantastic. I wrote 2 chapters. I'm feeling really, really good about this right now. These words felt better than the previous ones, if that makes sense. The thing with this draft is that because I already wrote the first few chapters, the last couple of days, I was kind of just like copying and pasting and kind of editing it, but this time I was actually rewriting and I felt really, really good about it. So I was almost 3,000 words today written already, which is great. Mostly new words. Love to see it. I am deciding I'm going to take a little bit of a break. It is a beautiful summer day out there and I want to enjoy it. So I am going to, plus I have a lot of library books that I need to return. I'm going to go to the library, do a quick little library trip, and then I'm gonna go on a nice little walk. I might find a spot somewhere at like a park, kind of sit down and really chat about this project because I haven't had the chance to really do that yet. We'll see how it goes, but you're coming along with me.
Here we go. I am positioning myself against the water because I think it's a little fun. However, I've never really recorded it publicly like this, so this will be interesting. So I kind of wanted to give a little bit more of an in-depth look at what the project it is that I'm working on. This project is a contemporary romance, as I mentioned, and it follows two characters. Their names are Mauve and Jewel. These names are placeholders for me right now. It was what I had originally named them when I wrote this almost 3 years ago now, but it doesn't feel quite right anymore. But for now, that's what they're called, so I'll just refer to them as that. Mauve is a visual artist. She is going through a little bit of art block at the moment because her fiance of a long time ended things with her about 2 months prior to the events of this novel. So she is going through a pretty hard breakup with this girl and is struggling to create art right now. She lives with her best friend Jewel, who is a hopeless romantic. She is a lover of all things rom-coms and romance novels and that sort of thing. She is currently trying to write her first romance novel. She's an aspiring author. Jewel is the type of person to fall in love first and fast. She has had many relationships with many men, but none of them have turned out the way that she wants them to, the way that they do in the movies. And so she kind of is bouncing from different people, trying to find the right person for her, and she's been very unsuccessful as of late. Although recently she has found a new crush on a barista at her favorite coffee shop, but he doesn't seem to be showing the same affection back. So after a little bit of miscommunication, she comes up with the plan to fake date her best friend Mauve. Why, you might ask? Well, she's got plenty of reasons. From this fake dating situation, Jewel can see 3 scenarios that she is confident will happen. Her new crush will begin to like her because it's like a bit of like forbidden fruit, you know? He'll start to see Jewel with someone else, and so he'll begin to think, oh, she should be with me. And then another thing, she's going to get some inspiration for her romance novel, which she's been struggling to plot and to figure out after many rough drafts. So she's thinking, oh, perfect, I'll have this wonderful situation laid out and I can use that in my novel. The third thing is that she's convinced that Mauve's ex will get jealous and will come crawling back thinking about how she missed out on this opportunity with this amazing girl. Mauve doesn't want to get back with her ex, mind you, but Jewel is convinced that this is still a good thing. So the two of them start a fake dating scenario. Mainly, this has just been a challenge for me, something different, something to train my brain and my creativity and my writing voice, because my fantasy voice is very different from my romance voice. It's been a lot of fun to try this over the last few days. I still have, I think this is day 4, so I still have 25 days. Is that how math works? Okay, this is day 4, so that means I have 24 days left. I'm at the 10K mark. That feels really good. I'm definitely ahead of schedule right now, and I'm glad that I am because of how many days I'm taking vacation. I know that I was very generous with the days that I was going to be doing to try to have as many days as possible. I have a feeling that there are definitely going to be some days like yesterday where I didn't reach my word count goal. So it's going to be nice to have it balanced out with days like today where I was able to write a lot more, which when I get home, I'm probably going to be writing a lot more because I was having a good writing day. And so I want to keep up that momentum. Anyway, I should get away from this river.
Okay, so I am back. I'm ready to work. I'm gonna try to write one more chapter today if I can. So I'll definitely surpass 11,000 words today. I might get pretty close to 12. We'll see how that goes. But one thing I wanted to talk about is that I have been calling this a YA book. And that is because that is what I'm most comfortable writing in. I read a lot of YA and I do read a lot of adult, but for me, my characters are pretty young still, even though the characters in this book are 23. Same with Project Pirate, a lot of the characters are around like 22, 23. And that makes sense to me as a young adult because I am 22. I am a young adult. I think what I've really struggled with over my writing journey is finding out the balance between what is young adult, like what is for young adults, and when are my characters young adults, but for an adult audience. I still don't quite know. For me, my writing still feels very young adult, so I think that's how I'm going to continue to refer to it as. I might have an agent later down the line tell me that this is actually an adult book, or my other one's also actually an adult book. So that'll be interesting for me because although they are adults at 23, they are very much still in the young adult in terms of life. I think the way that books are marketed is very strange in that way, where a young adult is definitely more marketed towards teens, but a young adult in society is like 18 to 25. I don't even know if there's a proper range for that. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out just because I think that discussion is quite interesting. So if you have any thoughts about that, please write it in the comments because I'm very curious to see what other people think. Anyway, I'm going to get back into this and see what else I can make. It is about 9 a.m. on Thursday. I have until about 12 to do some writing this morning, hopefully to hit my goal for this morning. I have a creative meeting with my friend this afternoon, which I may do some recording of, or it might be a separate video. We're gonna see about that. I got to 12,070 words. Lovely past the first 10K. I feel like the first 10K is such a struggle to get through, and then once you're past that point, the numbers just keep going up. At least that's in my experience. I love to get to the first 10K because then we're at a point where, you know, like the conflict has been established, that sort of thing. The characters are already well introduced. I'm excited to get to writing this morning. I'm feeling like I'm getting to the point where I'm going to be having to draft completely on my own I have my outline still, but without the help of my previous written chapters, which is both a very good thing because, as I said yesterday, it meant that I felt better about my writing, but also it's a little scary because then I have no like safety blanket underneath me. I might not be able to write as quickly as I have been. I've been able to get my word count very quickly in the morning, and then I have the afternoon to either add more or do other things. But I'm thinking that without my safety blanket of the previous chapters being written, it might be a little bit slower in order to get to where I need to be for the day. We'll see. I could be incredibly wrong about this. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna just hop right in and see where we're at. So I have officially written 15,000 words for this draft. I am so incredibly excited about that. Let's just put that out there. However, I'm at a point where I am starting to feel very fatigued in my writing, or just the process of writing, I suppose. I had mentioned earlier that I had plans this afternoon, but those plans unfortunately got canceled. So now I have the entire afternoon free. And the writer in me is going, perfect. You have more time to write. But as I said, I'm feeling very fatigued. It is starting to feel a little bit too much like work to me right now. When I got to the end of this scene that I just wrote, and then I put the heading in for the next chapter and looked at the outline, I felt so heavy. I think that because in the last 4 days I've written about 12,000 words, I'm really starting to feel tired from it. And I don't want to feel tired from my writing. Writing typically rejuvenates me and makes me feel excited, but right now I think that I'm just a little worn out. And that's okay. I know what this means I have to do. This means that I'm going to do something else with my time this afternoon. Right now, I'm going to probably have a lunch break for sure. And then I'm going to take time this afternoon for myself. I'm going to do some reading, I think. I'm currently reading Little Women, and I'm also doing a reread of Yellowface. And both of these novels, which I've been loving, don't have anything to do with my current project, which I think is exactly what I need right now. If I were to try to read a romance, I think it would hurt my brain a little bit and it would feel again like work. And I don't want this to feel like work right now. So I think I'm gonna do some reading this afternoon. I have some sewing projects and some crafts that I can also do this afternoon. So I'm thinking I'm just going to take the next few hours to myself, do something creative to still work my brain, but is at the same time recharging me in a way that when I come back to this project, whether it be later today or tomorrow morning, I'm gonna feel excited to do it again. And that's exactly what I want. This will either be the last you see of me today, or maybe you might see me later for another writing update if I decide to write. I'm not going to pressure myself to do that today anymore. I've already written almost 3,000 words today, which is over 1,000 more than what my goal is for each day. So I'm not gonna put pressure on myself to do it. I'm gonna learn to not do that.
Good morning. We have now made it to Friday. As you can probably tell, I did not end up doing any more writing yesterday. I ended up reading and finishing Little Women yesterday. I got to the second part of the book, and it hooked me, so I kept reading. But I'm back here today. I am going to be doing some more writing this morning. So just as a check-in for where I'm at 15,036 words. So I've hit the point in the story where my two main characters, I've already established that they're fake dating. It's interesting to watch writers on YouTube as they talk about Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3 of their books. I haven't ever really seen my projects that way, except for Project Pirate. I think I have a 3-act structure that it makes more sense to me. This one, if I were to have a 3-act structure, I would say that I have breached Act 2 at this point. I realize I have to get used to talking. I have to get used to talking to the camera and not looking at my screen. So yeah, I just wanted to give a little update on where I'm at this morning. I think I've got everything ready. I'm just gonna hop right into this. I don't really have much else to say at this point. So let's do the final rating. Once again, so I have finished my writing day. I reached a good point in the draft right now, so I have hit 21,051 words,
which is phenomenal. I wrote about 6,000 words today, which is a very, very good writing day. I cannot believe that I'm already almost halfway through this manuscript. I really didn't think that I would get this far. To be fair, I didn't really have expectations, I suppose, because I know that I do have a lot of free time on my hands for this month, which is why I initially chose to do this writing challenge. I really wasn't expecting to be almost halfway through in the first 6 days of this challenge. I have reached the point where I have surpassed where my previous chapters were, so now everything that I'm writing is completely brand new content. I just wanted to give that little writing update. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for coming along. If you are interested, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment down below some of your writing projects. I would love to chat. Thank you again so much for watching. I really appreciate it. My name is Meadow Marie, and I'll see you next time.